What if the Greece you think you know is only a thin layer of paint? In the next minutes, we'll follow the country's oldest stories, not in museums, but in salt air, cracked marble, mountain villages, and the rhythm of modern life. And by the end, you'll see Greece less like a destination and more like a living, breathing timeline. There's a moment in Greece that happens before you even arrive. It's not the first temple, not the first beach. It's the realization that this land doesn't sit in one time period. It stacks them. Ancient stone under modern footsteps, myth stitched into street names, and a sea that has carried everyone, traders, poets, invaders, pilgrims, right up to the present day. Today, we're not doing a checklist. We're doing a journey through culture, nature, history, and the everyday heartbeat in between. Athens greets you with noise and heat and motion, like a city that refuses to pose. Look up, and the Acropolis holds its calm above the traffic, as if it's been watching this exact chaos for thousands of years. But here's the first truth. Athens isn't a prologue to real Greece. Athens is Greece, compressed. A place where philosophy was once spoken like street talk, and where today, the city keeps reinventing itself under economic pressure, summer crowds, and the daily work of living. Walk early, before the sun climbs. Let the streets wake up. Coffee machines hiss. Metal shutters roll open. And the light turns the limestone soft, almost honey-colored. It's easy to see the Parthenon as an image, harder to see it as a message, one that survived weather, war, and human choices. Here, the marble isn't just white, it's scarred, patched, replaced. Time is visible in the seams. And standing up here, you begin to understand a Greek obsession: measure, proportion, harmony. The idea that human thought could be built into architecture, like a physical argument. But the real lesson might be this: even the most eternal symbols are maintained by ordinary hands, workers, conservators, people sweating in the sun, keeping the past from disappearing into dust. One of the strangest places to meet the ancient world is the commute. In Athens, some metro stations display excavated walls and artifacts like they're part of the timetable. And in a way, they are. This city doesn't separate history from life. It walks right through it. To understand Greece, you don't start with monuments. You start with a table. Olive oil isn't a garnish, it's a language. Bread is not just bread, it's the tool that gathers everything. And meals stretch, not because service is slow, but because time at the table is still considered time well spent. Listen closely in a neighborhood taverna. Glasses clink, chairs scrape, someone laughs too loud, and it doesn't feel staged, it feels necessary. If Athens is the argument, the islands are the breath between sentences, and the sea, always the sea, becomes a road. Ferries aren't a tour, they're infrastructure, a moving room where locals nap, students scroll, families snack, and travelers stare out like they're trying to memorize blue. The Cyclades feel like a study in brightness. White walls, blue shutters, the sun so strong it seems to erase shadows, and the wind, dry, insistent, reminds you that these islands are not fragile ornaments. They're survival machines. But here's the contrast. Beauty attracts attention, and attention transforms economies, housing, jobs, even silence. In peak season, the perfect viewpoint can feel like a queue. So the trick is not to reject the famous places, but to change the way you meet them. Santorini is often sold as pure romance, but the island's real origin story is violent. A volcanic explosion that reshaped land and sea and myth itself. Stand on the rim of the caldera and you're looking into absence, a missing center, the sea filling a wound that never fully healed. And then, life. Homes carved into rock, designed to stay cool. Small churches, blue domes, stairs that test your legs and your patience. Tourism is loud here, but geology speaks louder if you listen. Then, suddenly, stone rises like a question mark. Meteora doesn't feel like a place humans should occupy. And yet, they did. Monasteries perched on towering pillars of rock, not built for tourists, not built for ease, built for refuge, solitude, and faith. You hear it before you understand it. Wind in the trees below, bells in the distance, and your own breath working harder on the climb. This is Greece outside the postcard frame. Not just ancient, but enduring. A reminder that the sacred can be practical. A safe place. A quiet place. A place to hold on. Delphi sits on the slope of a mountain, like it chose the view on purpose. In the ancient world, people came here for answers, not just about politics or war, but about life. Where to go, who to trust, what to risk. And the irony is, Delphi doesn't feel like it gives answers at all. It gives perspective, a widening of the mind. The ruins don't shout, they suggest. Stand still. Listen to insects in the dry grass. Look out over the valley. And you understand why this felt like the center of the world. Not because it was loud, but because it made people quiet enough to listen. Crete doesn't feel like an island. It feels like a continent that drifted off and decided to keep its secrets. Here, Greece becomes rugged. Mountains cut the sky, gorges split the earth, and the food tastes older, earthier, as if the land insists on being present in every bite. Crete holds stories from the Minoans to modern villages, a long continuity that doesn't need to announce itself. You feel it in the way people talk about home, not like a point on a map, but like a living inheritance. Stay with me, because the ending of this film isn't a monument, it's a feeling, and it shows up when you stop trying to capture Greece and let it capture you. Greece's nature isn't just scenery around ruins. It's the other half of the story. A coastal trail with time underfoot. Salt drying on your skin after a swim. Wind pushing waves into rock like percussion. If you want the quieter Greece, you don't need secret spots. You need patience. Ask locals what time the beach truly empties. Walk 5 extra minutes beyond the easiest access point. And remember, the best places are often the ones you can't name quickly. People often remember Greece as ruins and sunsets. But what stays longer is smaller. A shopkeeper who insists you taste something before you buy it. A stranger giving directions with full-body gestures. The slow nod of someone who's seen tourists come and go, and still chooses kindness. Hospitality here isn't always polished. Sometimes it's blunt. Sometimes it's loud, but it's rarely empty. After a while, the famous Greece starts to blur. Not because it's less beautiful, but because you've seen something more powerful. The ordinary continuity of life. A country doesn't survive for millennia because it looks good on camera. It survives because people adapt. They rebuild. They argue. They cook. They pray. They live with the past like it's a relative in the next room. Sometimes honored, sometimes ignored, always present. Greece gives you beauty, yes, but that's not the rare gift. The rare gift is time. Time you can touch in stone, taste in olive oil, hear in old songs drifting through a window at night. And maybe that's why we come here. Not to escape our lives, but to remember that our lives are part of a longer story. If you travel well in Greece, you don't leave with a list. You leave with a new pace inside your body, a softer urgency, a deeper attention.